Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Olanduh, and I wanted to get on here real quick and chat with you guys about my journey on semaglutide. I've been on this journey for 1 month and 1 week, and I wanted to talk with you guys about it. And if you like anything related to like theme park, Disney, Universal, vlogs, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let's get into today's video talking about my 1 month and 1 week journey on semaglutide. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form an expert, nor do I work in the healthcare industry. So I am just going to be talking about my personal experience as someone who just completed their first month. So let's talk about it. I have some notes on my phone, so if you see me kind of using my phone, that's the whole purpose of that. And let's get into some of the things that I wanted to talk about. I will have timestamps linked below, so if you just want to quickly skim to like a certain part of it, then you can do that. Now, this is a compound version of Ozempic, and let me start off by talking about how I got this medication. So I was hearing and seeing online everybody with their great results, and I went to my primary care physician and told them like, hey, this is what I think would be beneficial for me. And then I kind of talked to them about like symptoms that I was having. I was talking to the doctor about not being able to sleep at night. I was talking about my cravings. I was talking about even when I do things properly, it's not, the scale isn't really moving. Just different things that I was talking to my doctor about, and her response to that was, I'm not going to just prescribe you this medicine. Journal, and I think you should like diet and exercise. So those are the two things that she responded to me with. And mind you, this doctor is like a third of my size, super tiny, and I feel like for me, not that it wasn't stuff that I wanted to hear, but it was more of like, I don't feel like you understand where I'm coming from as somebody who struggled with weight her whole life, you know? So at that point, I just started looking at my symptoms online, and I'm like, okay, I think I might have PCOS, right? So then I go to an OBGYN that I had a long time ago, and I reached out to him, set up an appointment. I scheduled my yearly exam with him, and at the end I ended up telling him, hey, here are my symptoms. From what I was looking online, I think I might have PCOS. And he's like, well, we can do testing for that. Let's set up an appointment. So we set up an appointment. I found out that I am insulin resistant PCOS, a sister of endometriosis. I was talking to my doctor about, and they were being explained to me. And at that point I felt like crying, because I feel like I had gone to my primary care physician and I don't really feel like I was being heard. And then I went to my OBGYN, and I was able to find out all these things that were making me feel the way that I was feeling, right? So that was the first step of it. So he's like, hey, I think, you know, Ozempic would be beneficial for you. And months of trying to get the doctor's office to talk with the pharmacy or to talk with the insurance, it was a mess. It was a mess, and it was like a waste of like 3.5 months. So by this point, I feel like it was such a struggle, and I have a prescription that's been sitting there for me. The insurance won't approve it. And I've never had to deal with anything like this before, so it was just very frustrating. I'm like, they obviously don't want to pay for it. If I pay out of pocket on the starting dose, it's $1,000. I was like, there's no way I can afford this medicine. So then I talked to a family member, and she is on it because she has diabetes, and she told me, just call your doctor's office, have them prescribe you the compounded version. It's more affordable out of pocket. You just need to provide them with a pharmacy that they can, you know, work with that does the compounded version, which is semaglutide. And I was able to do that. So that was such a struggle, you guys. It was so frustrating for like the primary care physician in the first place not to really listen to the things I was complaining about. And then it was frustrating to deal with the insurance, and then not realizing that I can pay out of pocket, not with the insurance, just on the compounded version, right? So that was a whole thing, and it was very frustrating. So I don't know if anybody else has experienced this type of thing, but this was my journey just to even get the medication in my hands. I paid about $100 on the first month of the starting dose. So now I'm going to get to the next part, which is starting dose and side effects. So on my first 4 weeks, I was on the 0.25, and I wasn't really noticing a difference. I felt like food noise was still there, maybe like a little toned down. Some people are able to have great success on the 0.25 dosage, and that's great for them. They're like, I don't hear food noise, blah, blah, blah. I just felt like I could still hear it. It was still a daily struggle. And yeah, so during those 4 weeks, it was my birthday, my husband's birthday, my son's birthday. So it was definitely a struggle. Now, as far as side effects go, I noticed within the first 2 weeks that I had like a lingering headache. It wasn't anything that was unbearable. I did up my water intake, and that helped me with my headaches, or that lingering headache that I had. I remember in the beginning at one point I was not drinking enough water, and I feel like it turned into a migraine. So that was one thing. Again, this is just my personal experience. And then as far as like other side effects, I do feel like on injection day, like after injection, I have like this burst of energy for like 3 hours, and then I crash. And then I feel like I'm just like exhausted for a whole like 48 hours. So that's just kind of like what I've been seeing and dealing with as far as like my body. I'm not sure if anybody is doing anything to help with that. I did pick up protein shakes to try and help. I've heard some people say that adding in protein shakes helps you feel fuller longer, and it helps with like depleted energy. Not that it's going to give you energy. If anybody has any suggestions with like the first 48 hours, I feel like those are kind of a struggle. I feel like, you know, a zombie in the day with that. And so now I'm going to get into what is my current dosage and what side effects I'm seeing with that. So I've just completed week 5, and this will have been my first week on the 0.5 dosage. And I will say that in comparison of the 0.25, I can feel some relief of the food noise. I can, I did TMI, but I did like run to the restroom like crazy the first day. I think some other people have also experienced that, and which is weird because I know some people complain about like constipation. But yeah, like the first day I just felt like I was running to the restroom. I couldn't finish my coffee because I would be in the restroom. I couldn't, it was a lot. So I know your body's still getting acclimated to the medication. I've also heard people say that like the first 4 weeks that medication is starting to build up in your system, and then they can start to see progression. So I'm not sure, everybody has different experiences, but this is mine. And that was just one of the side effects that I did see from the 0.50. I did see, or I did feel less food noise, and I was running to the restroom the first like day. But yeah, I do feel like it's starting to work better for me. I'm not sure if that's the medication being built up in my system, and my body just adjusting to it better. But yeah, as far as weight loss, this is going to be my last one. As far as weight loss goes, I'm probably like 0.10 of a pound away from a 7-pound loss, and I feel like I can work on eating better now. I feel like I want to incorporate exercise, even if that's just walking around the block. I'm not sure about like the first 48 hours after getting my shot, how I can try to get around that, but I have lost a total of almost 7 pounds within the last 5 weeks. So I'm happy with that, because as a PCOS girly, it is so difficult to lose weight. So difficult. So this has just been my first month and 1 week on semaglutide, the compounded version of Ozempic, and I have to say it's been an adjustment on my body, but I am happy with the results, and I'm happy to keep going and maybe just like get more strict, like add in protein, maybe try to up my water intake some more, and hopefully go walking around the block. I've always kind of felt like a lack of energy, at least like the last couple years in my life. I've had like blood testing done and stuff because I'm like, it's not normal to feel this tired. But yeah, so this has just been my experience, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I wasn't really able to find anything on YouTube that somebody was talking about, and maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but I wasn't able to find anything of like, this is my first month. I was able to see some people talk about like, hey, I've lost 50 pounds and they're like 5 months in, and I'm like, but how did it start? It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, right? And I don't feel like my journey has been all sunshine and rainbows, but I am happy with, you know, the result that I'm getting right now, and I'm excited to keep on this journey long term. So if you want to follow along with my journey, if you have any questions in the comments, please let me know. I am an open book. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you being here and chit-chatting with me, and I will see you guys on the next video.